Mickens was just like the most genuine person I've ever known. Like, he's always looking to help somebody be successful. He always called me his superstar. So like that literally just knowing that I'm not gonna hear that no more, it's just kind of like heartbreaking. But he will be missed. He was just a very good person. He had a very good, pure heart. He's loved. He'll be missed.
So Mr. Mickens and I came here at the same time 4 years ago, and I just have a lot of memories of him of when he came in here, but one of my favorite one is how he classified all of us. He had nicknames for each one of us, and he called our group the A-Team. So he always came in, was talking about the A-Team, and then he always called me Captain C. And so one of those, I'm definitely going to miss hearing that every day about being called Captain C. And then also, we always raced each other to get into the parking lot in the morning too. And so not seeing his big affinity out there will bring a tear to my eye. So definitely going to miss Mr. Mickens and all that he brought to the A-Team and all he brought to the students here at Addicts.
Well, my favorite memory of Mr. Mickens is that every time, like, he'll see a student in the hallway, like, he'll always tell them, ask them how their day doing, how their day going, ask them, tell them everything gonna be okay. I think he was, a great man, and he will be missed.
I think he tried to make people's days brighter because I got in trouble one time, and ever since then he called me his troublemaker. Like every time he saw me, he checked in.
My favorite Mr. Mickens was the day I got in trouble. He was the one that came and got me out of class. And he was the reason why I didn't get suspended that day. So, he tried to talk me out of what I was about to do.
My favorite memory of Mr. Mickens is, this is my 3rd year here, and he was a year here before me, and so it's my first memory and my favorite memory of Mr. Mickens. He interviewed me. I remember him calling me and saying, hey, we are interested in hiring you, and I have some questions for you. And those questions turned into a conversation that lasted almost an hour, and where I got to know him a little bit, he got to know me a little bit. And he just struck me as someone who not only cared about kids, his own kids, but the kids here at Crispus Addicts. And he was very silent about how passionate he was, but behind the scenes, he worked very, very hard to make sure that kids were taken care of. So that was my first memory and probably my favorite. There have been many memories in between that I'm just going to miss him a lot. I'm going to miss hearing his voice. I'm going to miss coming in the morning and hearing Longy. I'm going to miss him a lot, and I'm keeping his family in my prayers, and I hope everyone else will too.
My favorite memory of Mr. Mickens is he always came and checked up on me and asked about my grades, and he always called me and the dance team his superstars. So I believe that he's still watching over us.
It's not like a specific memory, but I love how every time I was struggling with something and my grades was going down, he always helped me and helped me fix it, helped me be better.
Okay, so Mr. Mickens and I both attended Butler University, so every time I saw him, didn't matter what time of day, didn't matter how many times I saw him, he would always be like, Bulldogs! And I was like, Butler! Bulldogs! Every single time. He would be like, Cece, you doing all right, Bulldog? And I just appreciated that because we had that connection, and he will truly be missed. I'm praying for our staff and our students.
My favorite memory was him always encouraging me to do better and do my best and telling me that I can do anything I put my mind to, and him telling me that he's going to be here for my graduation, but knowing that he's not making me want to strive hard.
My favorite memory would have to be him helping me pass my freshman year, because the freshman year you gotta set the ground for you to graduate, and you feel me, he was there for me, he helped me, and all I could do was thank him.
We love you!
When you think about Mr. Mickens, there's never one memory that comes to mind. It's just always those talks we used to have about sports. I know his son was going through the recruitment process. As a former Division I athlete, we share a lot in common just talking about the process, playing in college. So you're not going to miss just one memory. You're going to miss always speaking to him, always seeing him, always hearing that voice from his office. So we're going to miss you. Mr. Mickens, love you.
My favorite memory about Mr. Mickens is when me and my sister was down there in his office, and he was like basically just motivating us, making sure, he said he was gonna make sure I graduated. But so I just miss him and thank him for helping me out.
Hey, this is Coach Davis. Just wanted to pay my respects to the late Mr. Mickens. I will greatly miss our sports talks and football, basketball rivalry conversations. To the family of Mr. Mickens, I'll be praying for you.
My favorite memory from Mr. Mickens was he was talking to me about getting my grades up and I could potentially go to college with having good grades.
One thing that I'll always remember about Mr. Mickens is that he was always really sweet to the life skills kids. He learned all of their names, and that definitely meant a lot to them. Just how personable he was and how much he cared for everybody at our school. That's something that we always say that everyone should work on leaving a legacy, and that's exactly what he did.
Our favorite memory of Mr. Mickens was when he used to help us with our grades.
Hi everybody, I'm Mr. Hurt. My favorite memory of Mickens was he was one of the counselors. He always brought new students to my class. He walked in from his office up here to me, shook my hand every time and introduced me to the student. Just a great overall person. So we had a really good working relationship. He meant a lot to me. Just being in the building together, he made me feel comfortable and he made the kids feel good too. So just my favorite memory of him was just him being him. He was amazing.
My favorite memory of Mr. Mickens, I remember every time we go to lunch, he'd be like, "What's up, twin?" Because I'm a twin, so I'd be like.
My favorite memory of Mr. Mickens was when he coached football over at Washington, over there at the first scrimmage over at Arlington. I saw the passion he had for the game.
One of my memories with Mr. Mickens was when I first came to get my schedule. He's the first person I met first person that I met at Christmas Attic, and he told me about school, and he helped me pass my first semester in my freshman year.
It's one of my favorite memories of Mr. Mickens, just working in the lunchroom, working with the kids, trying to, make sure that they take their classes, pass their classes. Just was a big help, a big mentor to the kids. We're all going to miss him. Just a great guy, great father, great human being, great counselor. We miss Mr. Mickens.
My favorite memory of Mr. Mickens is he talked to me about my grades, what I need to do to be successful and make what I want to make it at.
This is Miss Bird. One memory that I will always cherish is just the fact that Mr. Mickens always greeted everybody, and he always called me Miss B. I actually kind of miss going into the lunchroom to do lunch duty after he was done, and just hearing, "Hey, Miss B," or "How's it going, Miss B?" So I'll definitely miss that.
Mr. Mickens made sure my grades was good.
Alright, my favorite thing about Mr. Mickens would have been just his vibe. Like every time I would walk past him in the hallways, always super cheerful, uplifting, always spoke, and always had a good vibe that you could not help but want to be around, like a magnet for just that happy energy.
My favorite memory with Mr. Mickens was when I was in lunch this one day, and he was telling me about my grades and stuff, and I was telling him how I passed, and he was like, he proud of me. Yeah, and this one time, he used to always tell me to get out of lunch, but I used to always see him in the hallway.
Heavy heart with the passing of Mr. Mickens, and it's very difficult to even record this, but I just wanted to say that he had a passion to help people succeed. He was totally committed on helping every single student graduate here from Crispus Attucks, and he was our 9th grade advisor and I would say motivator for all of our freshmen to stay on track. One of the best memories I had of Mr. Mickens was when he came into my classroom and motivated our freshmen to stay on track and focus on doing what they had to do, because nobody's going to do it for them. I will miss Mr. Mickens. He was a strong supporter of everybody here at Crispus Attucks, but the thing that I'll always remember is his smiling and positive attitude. Rest in peace.